Hey, that Spider. Hey, I'm excited for Beyond the Spider Verse. That's about to be so. That's about to be so groundbreaking. I mean, the Spider Verse saga, like Miles Morales' Spider Verse saga, has been the most groundbreaking animated like soon to be trilogy I've ever seen. I think it's gonna be the greatest animated trilogy we've all ever seen. Like, what other animated like franchise
I
is
think I think if they keep it on a roll, I think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles could be on track for that too.
a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the new one? All right, we have
Yeah.
to specify that it's a new one because people are gonna be like, "Are you talking about that like live action one?" Uh, the animated one, completely amazing. All right,
Yeah. Fire.
and I like that they have took inspiration from uh the Spider Verse animated movies with Miles Morales. All right,
Yeah.
you know they can say that they didn't or whatever, but we all see the inspiration behind it. Which that's kind of like the new wave of animation right now. How at least that's what I think it's gonna go when it comes to these specific types of movies with the Ninja Turtles, and now that we have Miles Morales. Me personally, I just don't think that anything as far as animated trilogies or just animated franchise can top what uh, Miles Morales Spider Verse movies have done. As
Yeah.
far as uh, the visuals, as far as the story, as far as all that. He's had arguably the most compelling story in almost all the Spider-Man movies,
Yeah.
and it's an animated movie. I'm not discrediting, and this is where I gotta be careful what I say. I'm not discrediting what Tobey Maguire has done as Spider-Man. I'm not discrediting what Andrew Garfield has done as Spider-Man. Writing was still shit in those two movies. Say what you want. I'm not discrediting what Tom Holland has done because Tom Holland has been an amazing Spider-Man. But Miles Morales' storyline compared to those three Spider-Man, I think it's the best. It's the best of what we've gotten on screen. He has the best storyline of what we've gotten on screen. I don't see nobody topping that. Not yet. I gotta see what Tom Holland Spider-Man 4 looks like.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I hope we get news on that at least.
Huh?
I hope we get news on Spider-Man 4 at least pretty soon.
Look, man, getting Spider-Man news, that's something to where you, we are getting Spider-Man news, but it's just not about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's the issue. We're getting Spider-Man news, not about Spider-Man. We're getting everything about what's happening around Spider-Man. And what's the even more fucked up part is that these guys aren't even in the same universe as Spider-Man. So it's like we're getting news about Spider-Man content with characters that aren't even in the same universe as the Spider-Man that we currently are seeing on screen right now.
Yeah. I think this Madam Web movie is what they're gonna try to retcon and try to make sense of where everything fits. And I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be bad.
You just there's no high hopes. Like you don't have a sliver of like maybe this could come out this way. You don't have just a sliver of hope of like, oh, okay, maybe if they do this, this is what could happen.
I mean, I feel like it could be good. I don't think it'll be groundbreaking or revolutionary.
All right.
And then that trailer is just very like
Oh,
it
it's so
wasn't very
bad.
yeah, it wasn't very good.
It didn't reel you in. It didn't get you excited for like, I wonder what they will do. I mean, we
Yeah.
still are. We're still kind of like, I do wonder what they'll do, but it's not making you be like, yeah, let me get tickets the first day and see what they'll do.
Yeah.
That's the issue. And plus, we're only given technically 2.5 months to kind of prepare for it?
Yeah. I mean, next year's gonna lack in MCU content, but it's gonna not lack in.
Spider-Verse content, because there's 3 movies coming out next year. Well,
Right.
there's 4 movies coming out next year for Spider-Verse content. Venom 3, Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, and Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Right.
So
And then one movie with the MCU, right?
Deadpool 3. That's the only
Yeah.
MCU movie. Everything else is Sony Spider-Man movies, which we're going to get flooded with Spider-Man content. The only Spider-Man that we're going to see, or that we're kind of really only know is a guarantee, is Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So that almost kind of raises the question: is Miles Morales going to get transported to the Sonyverse? Because remember, his universe gets destroyed. This is me going back to what is said and how his story is accurately supposed to go. He's from this Earth, 1610. His Earth gets destroyed. He's later transported to 616. Right? That's how his story goes. Are they strategically putting all these movies that same year so that you can be like, Miles Morales is gonna go against all these villains? He gets the Sinister Six movie. You know? Seems I don't know if I'm reaching, but it's gonna go beyond the Spider-Verse. The movie's called Beyond the Spider-Verse.
I don't know. It's very confusing. This is why I was saying that it sucks that Sony has control over anything Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, even though because they have control over Spider-Man, that we get those 3 great movies in the Spider-Verse. Why does this keep? That we get those movies from the Spider-Verse about Miles. If it wasn't for Sony, we wouldn't be having those great movies. But because of Sony, we also don't have great stories in the MCU about Spider-Man. We also don't have great stories coming out in their own properties. You know what I mean? Like their standalone properties of Spider-Man. They're not even good. So it's like, it's kind of like ruining.
What's ever being built up?
Right.
Whatever they're
But
building up
whatever
for,
they're
it's not
trying to
exciting.
do, it's not. There hasn't been any excitement. And then it's like, it's the audacity to keep it going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like, one more movie, and then we'll get you Spider-Man, okay? Just give us one more movie, and we'll give you
Or like they
Spider-Man.
didn't have that same energy when it came to TASM because they just stopped after the second movie because the reviews were bad. So it's like,
It was
if the reviews are bad on all of these movies
why are you still
so
going?
far, why are you still pushing? Like
Let's
it makes no sense, bro.
let's look at Venom real quick. All right, and talk
Same with
about
Spider-Man 4 because of Spider-Man 3 being a Fallout, they canceled Spider-Man 4.
right.
So it's like I don't get it, dude.
So Venom, based off the first Venom. Damn. The first Venom, 30% of critics recommend that you go watch the film. Right? 30% of critics that have went to go see the movie recommend that you go watch. The other 70 do not recommend. Alright?
Mm-hmm.
The audience, 80% of the audience recommend that you go watch this film. 20% recommend that you don't watch it. That's for the first Venom. Second Venom, 57% of the critics that went to go see this movie recommend that you go watch the film. The other 53% do not. Audience, 84%. That's 4% more than the last Venom installment. Recommend that you go watch the film. The other 16% recommend that you don't watch it. And I think that the second Venom movie was awful.
Right. It
But
was.
but yet it did way better as far as critics and audiences. The second movie did way better. I do not know why. Maybe let's check box office numbers. All right. So Venom, the first Venom installment, did almost $1 billion in the box office. It did 856 million worldwide box office. That's really good for a first installment. Okay, that's why you got a second movie. The next Venom movie, which was Let There Be Carnage, did over $300 million less than the first film. They only had 506 million globally at the box office. All right. Morbius did worse. Morbius did $167 million worldwide in the box office. All right. So let's go to the Spider-Verse movies. Actually, no. Let's go to Andrew Garfield's movies. The Amazing Spider-Man film series. All right. So for the Amazing Spider-Man, do the same formula that we just did. 71% of the critics recommended that you go watch the film. The other 29% recommended you did it. 77% of the audience recommend that you go watch this film. The other 23% recommend that you did it. Let's go to TASM 2, which was, ultimately Andrew Garfield's last installment. 51% of the critics recommend that you go watch this film. 49% recommended that you didn't. 64% of the audience recommend that you go watch the film. The other 36% recommended that you didn't. So for box office numbers, for the Amazing Spider-Man box office, the Amazing Spider-Man's box office numbers were $758 million. That's a success in the box office. The second installment does $709 million, only about $49 million less. Both were big successes in the box office, and more critics and audiences recommended that you go watch the films compared to the Venom stuff and compared to Morbius.
Yeah, which again, why I'm saying they have the audacity to continue these shit films, but not the audacity to continue what everybody is asking for.
Right.
So,
Which is crazy.
I don't fucking know, man. Sony's just as bad as Warner Brothers.
Oh